Hi there, this is Laurel Egan Kenny from Turning Point Communications, home of Treasury Management University. And I'm here today to speak to the lenders, credit officers, and relationship managers out there who might be wondering about the value that Treasury Management can bring to their organization and to their client relationships. So today's webinar is just a preview of what's to come. We have another full size webinar that you can opt into if we intrigue you enough at the end of this webinar. Please do feel free to opt in, and I will have my contact information at the end of this webinar. Thank you so much, and let's move forward. Treasury management for lenders and credit officers. Why should you care? What's the return on investment for you for listening to this webinar and for incorporating Treasury management into your client relationships? Well, I would say that Treasury management complements your loan portfolio, or has the propensity to complement your loan portfolio very well. There are solutions that clients need and want, and they bring in fee revenue versus interest-based revenue. That therein lies an opportunity for, again, further complement from Treasury management. It also could increase the profitability for each client that you have by 25% or more. And that, of course, depends on how deeply you're able to penetrate that relationship. And also that deeper penetration allows that client to become more sticky to your organization and potentially to you as their trusted advisor in the organization. Or, cash management can also lead to new client wins where you may not have had that opportunity with the opportunity for a win based on differentiation with a loan. Now you have the opportunity to offer up cash management and or win a client based on cash management alone, and thereby bringing that client into the bank, and maybe later you can pitch your loan to them at a different point in their growth. Who needs Treasury management? Well, I'm going to go ahead and argue that every business needs Treasury management. Every business that's in business, that's collecting revenue for their solutions or for their product or service, and as well as a cost of goods sold, they have to pay or disperse funds to those who help them, whether it's through raw materials or through other solutions or vendor-based opportunities. So what's it good for? How can it help your clients, and how can it help you ultimately? Well, for your clients, it's basically a value component. There's a value proposition involved with Treasury management that you can fairly easily prove or working with your Treasury management officer. For example, there's a very distinct cost savings that's associated, and that could be in the form of a return on investment, i.e. what they pay out for the service versus what they end up saving in terms of those other components here. They save time. There's a cost associated with time. There's operational efficiency that could be also translated into a cost savings as well. Automation of manual processes. Well, listen, there's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of spreadsheets that go on and a lot of, I would argue, processes that go on perhaps that a business leader isn't even aware of. For example, taking in an invoice and paying out on that invoice, or even researching new partnerships with vendors. Lots of those things, the procure to pay process could have a Treasury management overlay and make it much more efficient. Again, there's a cost savings associated with that. Risk management is incredibly hot these days, from check fraud to managing the environment around us that is relatively unstable. again, Treasury Management Solutions have the opportunity to kind of bring those redundant tasks in-house and allow them to be much more manageable, and therefore manage that risk. And productivity, there's also that cost savings involved. If you do have a person working at your firm to do these administrative tasks on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly basis, a lot of these could be automated through having a reliable treasury management system on hand and solutions wrapped around that system. Again, it comes back to doing more with less. And the good part about treasury management is that you're able to define what that savings could be and what that return on investment could look like for your clients. Just quickly, we will talk about in the main webinar a little bit, get into more of the detail of individual solutions that are part of the treasury management model, if you will, which is here in front of you. Again, as I mentioned, every business who's in business is collecting some sort of funds or revenue. So on the flip side of that, they have or I should say associated with that, they have incoming payments that hopefully through Treasury Management Solutions, or the appropriate Treasury Management Solutions, that those revenues are brought in on a more timely basis and perhaps automated or electronified for the client, such that it makes it much more manageable, or even helps them to interface with their internal systems. On the other end of that is the disbursement of funds, which means that the client business that you're working with has to pay providers for services for their costs of goods sold. So if you think about it in terms of a disbursement, in the middle of all of that, we would call that a concentration. So from the collection to the disbursement, how does that look for the business owner at the end of the day, week, month, quarter, year? Is that business in a positive or negative cash position? And therefore, there are some decisions that can be made around that. If there is some excess funds or cash on hand or available, there are some investment opportunities that treasury management can help to automate or to make possible with or without any touch points from the client. And on the flip side of that, if the business is in a negative position at any given time, there's an automated flow of funding or short-term borrowing that can take place, again, automatically to help that business, whether it's on a daily basis, whether it's monthly, weekly, or perhaps even on a more long-term basis as well. So that's how we help to define and very simplify the treasury management flow of cash that goes on and how that can work. So we hope that we've piqued your interest today, such that you'll be interested in coming back for our full-on webinar, where I've put together the agenda for what that full webinar looks like. We will talk more than we did today about why treasury management is a great fit for and a great complement to the services that you offer as a lending or credit officer or the relationship manager. We also will get into more detail about individual solutions that parlay, or sort of, if we were to break out that treasury management model we just talked about, collections, disbursements, concentration, investment, and funding, as to what that could look like with wrapped around a business model at your bank. There's also, in the webinar, we will help you to profile what an ideal client looks like at your bank, and to be able to pick up on the cues that the client might give you that would make you think that that it's time to get a treasury management officer involved, or that potentially that it warrants you getting the treasury management officer involved, earlier and more often, if with businesses of a particular type or a particular industry. And to that end, we also break apart the treasury management model and look at it by industry, because there are ways that specific industries, or that you could make assumptions about the way that an industry would use treasury management products to collect, disperse, concentrate, invest, and fund the business. And there are likenesses for that. and again, assumptions that can be made around it. And finally, there's an opportunity for you to better partner with your treasury management officer at your bank, or if there isn't one, there's an opportunity for you to help to champion that process to get somebody in place who acts like a trusted advisor to your clients. So it's just another arm of you, if you will, and of the bank brand to be reaching out into the community and helping businesses bank better and to do their own business better and to more closely concentrate on what they do well, while you are able to offer up what the best of what your bank can offer. Again, we hope that you have enjoyed this webinar sample, and I'm going to go ahead and put up our contact information so that if you are interested, we ask that you please do reach out to us through our website or directly through email, or give me a call directly on my mobile phone, which is listed right there. Or you can check us out on our new website or on any of those social media channels. And we look forward to working with you. Thank you so very much and have a great day.